if this reading landed on your For You page, you are about to have a softer and more private life. Now, that was today's message. These cards came out where, yes, your life is about to become more private. It's also becoming softer. However, your life is about to upgrade to the point that people think your life is an illusion. I saw a quote yesterday, and this reading would definitely align with that quote. We're going from this is AI to is this AI? Is it really or is it not? That's what your life is about to look like, but it's real, okay? We do have the cards here, blind, secrets, and soulmates. And today's message was, hey, your life is about to become more private. It's about to become softer. However, it does feel like you're about to have some sort of upgrade in your life to the point where people don't even think that it is real. Now, you could be any zodiac sign, so just take what resonates with you, leave what doesn't for the next person. This is for all signs today. If you would like a personal tarot reading, a private one-on-one session with me, Akashic Records, or to join our upcoming workshop on April 8th for ancient wealth, wisdom, and initiations, check out that box below. It does have all of the information that you will need. And thank you for being here today. If my energy or my readings resonate with you, feel free to like, share, subscribe, go click on that notification bell so you can know when the next reading does come out. And say hello to my bird, Bez. Now, we have blind, secrets, and soulmates. It's interesting because today's reading was, hey, your life is actually becoming softer. It's also becoming more private. You're someone that people can barely look you up, okay? They can barely look you up over here. We have searching for answers, blinded to truth, watching you online, and wanting to know. Secrets and soulmates. Now, for some of you, there may be people in your life right now that used to have access to you. They can only look up your social media accounts and see what they can find. And that's the only way, perhaps, that they can gain any access, to you, information, things like that. There's also people in your life that, yes, your life is maybe private, low-key in some way, shape, or form. Feels like you're living a soft life or softer life. But there's definitely people in your life that are watching you. They want to know about you. All right, so let's see what this is for the collective today, for the Lex Collective today. What do we have for all signs? Their life is about to become more soft, or softer rather. Shocking. It's about to be the people in your life, or the people that know you, or even used to know you, they're going to be shocked at some sort of shift and change in your life. It's interesting here, though, where there's some level of there's no access to you here. What do we have for the collective on their life is becoming softer and more private? Why do we have blind, secrets, and soulmates? For their life is becoming... You know what I do see? You are having loving and firm, yet soft boundaries of... My life is not for you to fantasize about. What I see, and for some of you, you may maybe be in some sort of position in life, or maybe you have a following, right? Maybe you're viral on social media. Maybe you're a CEO. Maybe you just take care of a lot of people. Maybe you're a manager. There's a lot of people who just know you for some reason. It's interesting here. You are actually about to have a life upgrade in a good way. It's here as well. This is all good times. Really fun and good times, actually. Chasing thrills, excitement, good times, has ecstasy, chemistry, attraction, spark, and passion. Here's the secret here. Only people, perhaps, right, that would bring you, like the people that are like, say, being weird here, right? Intentions. Why do they want to know about your life? But the key intention is why. That's the key. Is it just to know? You have people that are very interested about your life. And definitely for some of you, you are viral on social media. You are, have just a following of some kind, a manager, maybe where there are people that work, with you. But here's the thing here, which I actually find is very interesting. You're setting a boundary where no, you cannot fantasize about me. And not that people can't fantasize about you, right? You can't control that rather. But what you can control is I will not allow your fantasies to try to project upon my reality. You're focused on the good things, on health, on wealth, on joy, on love. For some of you, relationships, your kids, your whatever this may be, your home, your career. And so what I actually see is your life is about to have a really big upgrade. You are actually protected from people that are seeking you for the wrong reasons, even if it's simply your energy. And that's the thing. There's a lot of people that fantasize, right, in this world. We see it all the time with, like anyone who's really out there. People create their own ideas, fantasies, opinions, things like that about the person. So you're actually protected from people who don't see you, from people who simply fantasized, about you. Not that the people are fantasizing about you, but thinking about you, right? Like making their own judgments, opinions of who they think you are or who you are to them. It doesn't mean that that's who you are, right? And that's what I see in this reading. You're someone that these people are blocked off from your energetic field. Now you actually are genuine. We have your unconditional compassion, genuine in union, but you also expect that. And you're someone who, again, either you have a large following somehow, there's a lot of people around you or that know you. You deserve that back. And it's okay for you to have that firm and loving truth of, I want this back. That love, authenticity, whatever it is that you give, you demand it, you want it back. And that's actually okay, and that's what I see here. All right, your boundaries are only keeping out people who it's just like, well, why do you want to know? It's like people who just want to know about you and they have no other plans, no other whatever here, okay? We're going to grab one more card. What do we have for the collective today on blind, secret, soulmate, shocking, ecstasy, and chemistry? It's like you're the type of person that your life actually will say, okay, it's going great, it's going good. People are going to always want to say something, right? Where, especially when you have a large following, your life can be going great. And say you spill coffee on your shirt. And then it's like tabloid. And then everybody's talking about it, and then it's like, damn, that was one part of my day where I spilled coffee, but I had a great day, actually. That's what I'm seeing in this reading where respectfully so, you're holding boundaries here. What do we have for the collective today on their life is becoming softer and more private? What do we have for the collective on their life is becoming softer and more private? It's interesting here. Dreams and then privacy. Respected boundaries is what this card says. And then dreams. This reading is very interesting. Fantasy on the bottom of this deck. A lot of the color purple here. Blues. Purples and blues for the upper chakras. They don't see you with their third eye. And so it's interesting here. I'm actually seeing you create a loving boundary around your auric field. And it says, I'm unwilling, though, to take the projections that are just simply not true. Right? Like, say you spill that cup of coffee. You had a great day, but publicly you spilled a cup of coffee. That person's life is going to shambles. No, it's not. That's what I'm seeing here. Or you're like, absolutely not. I'm not taking that. And that's what I see in this reading. You are unwilling to accept projections that are not true. Or again, where, like, why do these people want to know? That's what I'm seeing. You have respected boundaries and taboos. No, I've never done a reading like this before where it's saying, hey, I'm unwilling to accept that of which is not true about me, you know? And you can control it, definitely, especially with a large following, you know, like say, again, like even say if you manage, I don't know, say McDonald's, you probably have at least 50 employees. One person's not going to be happy, more than likely, right? And that's what I'm seeing here. You know, there's just something about a lot of people know you, are around you. And so you have a lot of people that think about you that, and for some of you, they kind of like dream of who you could be or who they are to you, you know, or like just different things like that. All right. Let's dive into the tarot here. What do we have for the collective today on their life is becoming softer and more private? What do we have for the collective on their life is becoming softer and more private? What do we have for the collective on their life is becoming softer and more private? What do we have for their life is becoming softer and more private? You are going to be able to walk this earth like a damn fool. And in a good way. You know, not like a fool, like you're a fool. This white rose, the fool's not worried if it's going to get hurt or not. Look, the fool is about to jump off of a cliff, and the fool could care less. And not that the fool is careless, but the fool knows that it's very protected. Right? And that's what I'm seeing here is you will be able to walk this earth in this energy here, which is with the innocence of a child is really what this card means. Heavy on the, you're allowed to just be happy. You know, what I do see is you're someone that you actually have a lot of people in your life that try to drag you down. And it comes mostly from projections, things that are not true. Fantasies, dreams about you. Now, what do we have for, look at that, the Fool card came out. What do we have for the collective on their life is becoming softer and more private? Why the Five of Swords for? Their life is becoming softer and more private. You want peace. That's all you want. That's all you want is peace. Two of Pentacles, the Four of Swords. Now, the Two of Pentacles is also a card of profits, like losses and profits, decisions. You have loving boundaries. You're also, though, not someone who's actually not a social person. You have to have boundaries in the work it is that you do. Like, say, for example, you are a manager. You know, like there's a balance of being the cool manager, right? And then it's just like, well, we got to get things done. I cannot take these projections, these whatever, you know, say from the employees, from your coworkers or whatever it may be, right? Five of Swords over here. This card is this energy. As soon as I say that, I get a 777 text. Okay, so you could be seeing the number 777. That could mean that this reading is for you. That's what these people try to do to you. Where it's like they're living in their own truth of who they feel like you are. And you actually get attacked a lot because of this energy. Now, I will ask you watching me, do you have Neptune in your birth chart? Do you have prominent Neptune birth placements? This is a very Neptune energy, which is the Pisces sign, but it's very much a Neptune energy. You know, depends on what you have in your birth chart. But there's almost something about you here where, like, Neptune rules over illusions, but it's interesting. It's the people outside of you that are not seeing you here. I am seeing that your life is good. But again, you know, like you are someone that you have a lot of eyes on you. And so you're someone that you could have a great day, but because at work, your coffee spilled in front of 300 people, now 300 people are saying that your life is going to shambles. And it's not. You just spilled coffee. And then you bought a new shirt. And then things were fine. You know, that's what I'm seeing here. Collective. Now, what do we have for the collective today on their life is about to become softer and more private? Why the Sun card? Because you're truly happy. Because you are in your truth. And it's interesting in this reading, we have the card Page of Pentacles, investment. You are happy. It's other people that try to make you not happy. Like, again, the example of, I had a great day. Yeah. To be quite honest, I had coffee spill on my white shirt in front of 300 people, but life is still great. I got a new shirt right away. You actually have people in your life that become obsessed with you, where it's just like, nope, I want to write a story about that. That's not what happened. She didn't buy a new shirt, or he didn't buy a new shirt. They went home and they cried. It's like you got people in your life collective like that. And then they're wondering of why you have the loving, keyword loving boundaries here. You attract people like that, okay? Where you're someone that you do need the boundaries here, okay? You got 4 of Swords. You're only interested in truth. And so if it was anything else, you'd announce it. That's what I'm also seeing here too. That I'd announce it myself if something was going on. It's like, for some of you, if you see in the stories, online of the tabloids of that are saying someone's pregnant, it's like, that's news to me. That kind of thing. All right. Now, what I am seeing in this reading too is you're actually in a good place in your life. You are the type of person that you have a lot of eyes on you, and we'll say in some instances, people don't want you happy, but that's also why you have to have the boundaries. It's interesting here. So I'm also kind of into science. I love science. We have ecstasy and chemistry. The Sun card, Ace of Swords. The science geek inside of me is kind of saying, hey, those neurotransmitters, those neurons, they're actually doing their thing, okay? What is it? Dopamine or serotonin? Not sure. But whatever it is, you got it going on and it's doing its thing, okay? And that's what I see here. It's other people that want to attach their own fantasy, their own opinion or idea of you onto your life. But to the point where, again, your life is going to be more private and you're still going to be succeeding. I see you're still happy. But it's also saying hey, it's okay to set these boundaries, because some of these, and we'll get some cards over here, but for the collective on, their life is becoming softer and more private. For the collective on, their life is becoming softer and more private. Why the Justice card? For their life is becoming softer and more private. Why Justice card with the 10 of Wands? Because their life is becoming softer and more private. Why the Justice card and the 10 of Wands? Because their life is becoming softer and more private. There's something you have to walk away from. Now, for some of you, because we do have Justice, we have the Hierophant over here. Why the Hierophant with the 8 of Cups here? Why the Hierophant with the 8 of Cups here? You have to walk away from something completely. It's interesting here that you actually end up walking into a 4 of Wands, King of Cups. It's interesting that we're talking about science. It says emotional intelligence, okay? You're walking away from a burden that's not yours to begin with. This is the burden. Now, for some of you, I just have to say it, where you may even be like a celebrity, where you might be someone that, they are writing tabloids and things like that, or again, it could be as simple, as a manager, a CEO, you're a community organizer, you're, I don't know, you just run your street, your block, whatever it is over here. You're actually someone who's very intelligent. You are walking away from what's not worth arguing or things like that. It's interesting here. You're walking away from that of which would waste your breath. And it's these people here, actually. It's a 10 of Wands here. Because you are in the truth. Actually, even if it's 30 people against one, 30 people are wrong. Here is what I'm seeing. You're intelligent. You're happy. You have fresh energy, good news, bright ideas. As you walk away from a lot of what was thrown on your back, which it feels like it was like this fantasy kind of energy. Now, why the Justice card? For the collective's life is becoming softer and more private. Why the Justice card? Now, why the Ten of Wands? For their life is becoming softer and more private. Oh my gosh, for some of you, is it a marriage? Because we have marriage all over this reading. Oh no, the Lovers. And not all over this reading, all over the end of the reading. You know, it could also be more than just like you are. Check out your birth chart. Where do you have Pisces? Where do you have Neptune? Where do you have 12th house? A Venus 12th house can go through this. Yeah, 12. That's all Neptune energy though. So like check out where you have any of those placements in your birth chart. You get people who, yeah, don't see you. You had to walk away from a marriage as well. So this is also a theme in your life where it's a lot of people. It's like relationships and people in general. It's interesting though, you're showing up in your power as you walk away from this person. And that's just the key here too. Each time that you walk away, your life becomes better and none of this stuff ever forms or manifests. So say even your lover starts bringing you problems, you leave, your life becomes better. I'm also not saying that it's not you. Like, you know, we're all about accountability here. You know, I am seeing that you're someone who's done a lot of work perhaps on yourself. Let's see what this is. Why the Ten of Wands here for the 5 of Cups and 10 of Cups? Yeah, this definitely was a romantic connection at the end of this reading. You know, and again, you could just have this anywhere in your birth chart, where it could even be relationships too. You know, where like they feel like you could be this partner for them. You guys could live this life together. Is that even who you are? Is that even what you want? You know, why the Hierophant here for the collective's life is becoming softer and more private. You walked away from this person, but it's interesting here that your life, for some of you, you may have even gotten married again. All right, that's also what I'm seeing. It's, you know, what I am seeing in this reading is people can be wrong about you. Will I say always? No, I'm not going to say always, but people can definitely be loud and wrong about you. They could gather with 30 people and 30 people are wrong. Where? Now, for some of you, I do see like a divorce or just some sort of court papers. This had to do with court. And it had to do with marriage. It could be children. There's children here, but definitely marriage. With the 3 of Wands here, you know, for some of you, even like say a romantic connection, it's like people siphon from you. And I'm seeing a romantic connection that starts out happy, but then it just like, I'm just seeing like this energy, that your romantic connections, they get like this. And it's like, whoa, you got to let me go a little bit. Let me breathe. And you're definitely a healer. You're showing up as someone who has emotional intelligence. It says that here. And with the 3 of Wands, reward for hard work. Why the 3 of Wands here for? Why the 3 of Wands here? Fantasy again. Oh my gosh. Whoever you are, collective, I'm sending you a hug. You get projected on so much. My gosh, my goodness gracious. Fantasy again. You know, but this is a different kind of reading where most people wouldn't think of like, you can't fantasize about me. And we're not saying that. You can't control other people either. And that's part of it. That's even part of this journey. Say like you do have a large following, you lead a large corporation, organization, whatever it is, you cannot control other people. Vice versa. And that's something that you've mastered. That's something these people haven't mastered yet. And you probably have mastered because again, you're like in this position, this role, you've maybe lived like, you know, this life where you get some sort of attention. Again, there's eyes on you in some way, shape, or form. So you already know it's never what meets the eye. We know that. Other people don't know that. And you're actually someone that you have to have very loving boundaries, and people will think that you're an a-hole, but you're not. There's a secret about you. And the secret is, please come to me with the truth. And it's not shouting it. And again, you're someone though that they'll think you're an a-hole, they try to get your attention, poking your back. Come to me in the frequency. Not what you say, the frequency of truth. And then the doors, the gates, they easily open. The walls, they fall as if they never existed. But you have to come to me in the frequency of truth. And that is the loving boundary. You don't deserve to get hurt and projected upon, because look, the devil card through these fantasies. And it's interesting, again, people see you the opposite way, but what they don't see is that they're actually in this energy, trying to attach you to something that you're not. Why do we have... Well, the cards fell. Let's see. Now, a lot of cards here. 10 of Swords, the 9 of Wands, where you have been through betrayals. You're moving forward. Now, what do we have for the collective on? Their life is becoming softer and more private. Why the Devil card? Page of Swords, the 6 of Cups. And illusions and fantasy again. The Emperor. You will not be the sacrifice. And it's interesting, this reading, because this reading doesn't feel like you're shouting of respect me and this and that. You're quiet. You're sitting back like an Empress energy, on its chair, keeps rolling. You're not screaming, you're not shouting, you're not saying anything. It's like people actually figure it out around you. Where, again, it's they're talking to you, they're poking you. And I almost see you as a guru here, where the gurus that would teach through silence. When you approach the collective in the frequency of truth, they will greet you with a warm, loving, and open smile. And until then, there's things that these people don't see about you, collective. Okay? But it's respectfully in this situation. And it's interesting, you do have respected boundaries and taboos. That was on the bottom of the deck. So we do have curiosity. You have the right to protect yourself from people who are curious about you, that have no interest in your life or even you. Say, for example, this home, right? When a home goes on the market, people are going to view it. This home is not going on the market, so why are you here? That kind of thing, right? Where the home is on the market, of course it's an open house. The home is not on the market, so why is this? This is not an open house. That's what I'm seeing here. We have the card Curiosity over the Devil card. And then we have the 6 of Cups. Why do we have Page of Swords and the 6 of Cups for the Devil card here? Why do we have Page of Swords and the 6 of Cups for the Devil card here? No, these people are being sneaky and in front of your face, and then they will scream at you of no, I'm not. They're being sneaky about you, trying, finding out information, things like that. They want to be a part of your team. They want to ride with you. Wheel of Fortune, the 6 of Swords. They want you to turn their wheel for them. And you know it. There's sneakiness behind it. And that's why you are showing up as the Queen or King of Swords. You're unwilling to be their sacrifice of them figuring it out, of them fantasizing, of them dreaming about you. But you're someone that you've been through it more than once. Like, this is a truth for you. You've been through this way more than once. That pattern recognition, you can see it for what it is. Again, if you're, say, like a manager, CEO, maybe you're a nonprofit leader, organizer, or whatever this may be, right? If you have 300 to 3,000 to 30,000 people under you, constantly, on a daily basis, there are people making judgments or opinions of you. You came in a little tired, something's going on in your life. No, actually, you stayed up watching TV and laughing so much because you had a great night that you're tired. It's things like that. With the 7 of Cups here, it says dreams and then sacrifice. Setting a loving boundary of, while you definitely respect that you cannot control other people, right? And I like the way that that's worded. Like, you respect that you cannot control other people. You respect everyone else's too. Even the dreaming, the fantasizing, we respect it. Do not make that a reality in my life when it's not a reality and it's not true, and that ain't got nothing to do with me. Like where you are sitting by yourself in your house, say with kids, husband, wife, whatever, drinking a cup of coffee, and there's somebody watching your social media that's convinced that you're talking about them, or that your life is going to shambles, or that you're not happy, or whatever. You're going to turn out the noise. I'm seeing like noise canceling phones, like, like headphones. Yeah. Like, the styrofoam to like, what is it called? To keep out the noise. I'm seeing that upon your energetic field. Like, again, like the styrofoam in the recording studios that they have. I'm seeing that over your energetic field. I don't like that noise. You will definitely tune into the frequency of truth. Silly things. Where again, you spilled coffee on your shirt and now 300 people are saying that, you had a terrible day and this and that. And it's like, actually, my life was great after like you bought a new shirt and then you hit the lotto or whatever it was, right? That's what I see in this reading. And you need to know that that is true. Not only is it true for you, it is the truth. And you are unwilling to accept the projections, the fantasies, the lies, the deceptions upon your life. All right. And that's what I have for you in this reading. And I do see it's from anyone, because there does seem to be a marriage here that they didn't fully see you. What I am seeing here is something about like law, like legal courts, and things like that. Now, what do we have here for the collective? What do we have for the collective on advice for their life becoming more private and softer? You're about to win, baby. 7 of Pentacles over here. You're making investments, okay? So good things are coming into your life. And I love in this reading too that you're still just focused on this stuff. You're not tuning into the noise that's around you. And that's the advice in this reading. Now, what is some other advice do we have for the collective on their life is becoming softer and more private? Song of the Siren. Go check out the last reading that we did. Siren energy. This is something to acknowledge in your life. With Song of the Siren, it says the call, summoning, voice, and to acknowledge. This is something to acknowledge in your life. What is some other advice for the collective on their life is becoming softer and more private? Yeah, you're also someone that you are going to... We got Pisces in the North Node right now, but whenever you're watching this, it can be for you. You are not anyone's sacrifice over here. And what I am seeing is you're someone that needs to cleanse your energy as well. Whether that be that you can use a cleansing right now or constantly, consistently cleansing your energy. That could be a daily routine. It could be a weekly routine. But spiritual, energetic cleansing is definitely going to be important for you on your journey. What do we have for the collective on their life is becoming softer and more private? You're about to be compensated. You are the king or the queen of the light over here. All right. So you have beautiful things in your life. It's interesting here. You have a lot of people that try to bring you negativity, lies. Have we been getting like tabloid kind of energy? But the truth of your life is not those things, okay? I'm seeing that your life is going great. Good things are coming in. Now, there's definitely a message of abundance. We had the Page of Pentacles and compensation for advice here. And what are some final messages of advice for the collective on their life is becoming softer and more private? We have Mask, Signs, Truth over here. Why do we have Mask, Signs, and Truth? All right, Twin Flame card. Now, I will say you are someone that false evidence appearing real. You are someone that needs to be careful. People become obsessed with you to the point where they will look for anything. Your life is under a magnifying glass. If you spill coffee in front of a group of people, it's the kind of thing that it'll turn into a whole story that wasn't even true. If you show up and say like you look like you were crying, but actually, say your eyelash glue got stuck in your eye, and then you have to show up to work or like to give a speech. Oh my God, you see how the person was crying? They're up there talking, but you know they're not happy. Actually, that's not true. Like, you are someone that people do become obsessed, and they're looking at every aspect of your life. And yeah, you need the boundaries. Now, we do have twin flames here. So there could be something about twin flames. Why do we have twin flames? For some of you, there's something about twin flame energy that could be coming in the future, okay? It could be twin flame reunion, could be twin flame. You already know how I read that when it comes to twin flames, it's your life without of you, that divine masculine or feminine within you. Why twin flame and foresight? Reflection. All right. Now, yeah, there's something about twin flames and reflections coming up, okay? That could be a separate part of this reading. It could be a part of this reading in general, okay? Always take what resonates, leave what doesn't. But there's something about reflections with twin flames that may be coming up for you, okay? So that's what I have for you. I do hope that it resonates in a positive way. I'm sending you all so much love and so many blessings to your day.